All right, everybody, welcome back to another week. We have got something very special. You know, last week we did a car video on the Tucker. Well, this week we have the Maverick. This is a 2022 Ford Maverick. It's a Lariat edition. Our daughter just purchased it.
Turn up the heat. I'm gonna make my move. Gonna make my move. Get out the way, get out the way. I'm coming through. Gonna do my thing. Do what I do. I'm making waves. I'm blazing trails. I'm coming through. I'm burning up, turn on the light. I'm gonna glow and let it shine. I'm gonna go and light it up right. Turn up the heat. Turn up the heat. I get it glowing whenever I'm going. Turn up the heat. Turn up the heat. Ready, set fire. The flames getting higher. Turn up the heat. Turn up the heat. Make way for me. Turn up the heat. I'm gonna pave my road with bricks of gold. Better make way, better make way. I'm coming through like thunder rolls. Run with the bows. Move out my way, move out my way. I'm coming through. I'm burning up, turn on the light. I'm gonna glow and let it shine. I'm gonna go and light it up.
She actually had it on order for quite a few months. When did you place your order? Back in June, wasn't it? June, July?
I want to say it was like June or July 21st of 2021, and we picked it up on December 21st of 2021.
Yeah. So she had it on order for quite a while. Now she was one of the first ones to get her order in. As soon as I saw the news on the Maverick, she was already shopping for a car. She was ready to get rid of she had a hybrid before, and she was ready to be done with the hybrid.
Yep.
And saying it was a great car that she had, not to diss the hybrid or anything like that, but it was getting to where it was getting to the age where it was about time to replace the big battery, and we all know how expensive that can be. So she was shopping, and so I didn't force her to buy it, but I kind of nudged her into it.
Well, like one of the big things, I think I officially ordered it maybe like 2 weeks after you sent me the notification that they went on sale. But one of the big things for me was just, my car was getting a little bit older. I was wanting something that was good, not necessarily new, but was reasonably priced for the miles that it had. So obviously that's a hard thing to find anywhere, especially new, but whenever he showed me this one, it is really reasonable. I think that the very base model of this is about $21,000 off of the...
Starts off about 22,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah. So that's what makes it so appealing to everybody. And honestly, that's why you can't get one.
Yep.
She was one of the first ones to get one here in our town, here in Dalton, where we live locally. There's only 2 or 3 other ones running around right now. And I just got word from Ford this week that they have stopped taking orders.
Gone.
So you cannot get another one of these until 2023. Probably going to be the summer of 2023 is what I'm being told. And so for her to have one, it's pretty rare, and so it's pretty neat. I know they're people that had the orders in from early on are starting to get theirs in now.
Yeah. And
so you will start seeing more on the road. But I just think it's pretty cool that she got one of the first ones to come out, and that now you can't, like I say, the reasoning was they said they have so many orders that they can't possibly fill them all, and so they're shutting down the order system. They said they probably will start taking orders again back sometime during the summer once they kind of get more production under their belt and get some of that worked out. But you cannot get one of these until next year now, so it's pretty crazy. So she's actually been driving it for about a month, 6 weeks now. So she's going to show you some of the features in it that makes it pretty cool. And we'll kind of show you around. I'll do a run around on it and show you the outside. This is the Lariat edition. This has every option on it but 2.
The panoramic roof and the off-roading.
Yeah, the FX4 off-road package. It is all-wheel drive. This is not the hybrid because you cannot get the hybrids right now. I don't know what's going on in the production on those, but they're not shipping out any of the hybrids right now. So this does have the 2.0 liter in it. It is all-wheel drive in the Lariat package, and I'll show you what the big thing on the Lariat package is. The 2-tone seats.
They're nice.
They're sweet. So let's show you around a little bit. Okay. All right, so here you see the 2-tone seats. Kind of got like a bluish color right here with the tan inserts, and I'm telling you that is, I mean, the camera doesn't do it justice, y'all. It is spiffy. I mean, it is just sharp as a tack. And give you a little quick overview of the interior here. Again, this is the Lariat edition. Does have the gear shifter down here in the center console. We'll go over some of the features there here in a minute. I'll let Sarah go over that because she's the one been using it every day. But just give you a nice little overview. Another cool little thing that's kind of new is the way they did the door handles here. It's kind of got the little gold insert there. Makes it a little different, but I like it.
Alright guys, so my dad was talking about this pretty insert. It's kind of like a coppery gold metal look to it. One of the things that the dealership pointed out to me is, as you know, there's not any handle that connects it to the back part right here. One of the reasons for this is many of you who like to go out and, you know, do hikes and stuff take those really tall water bottles. This allows you to put that tall water bottle in here without having to worry about like putting it on its side to fit underneath this handle. So that's one of the main reasons why they've added that in. One of the biggest things that's a difference in this truck is that they have a lot of things going on down here in the console area. So first and foremost, they do have a no cable charging station. So literally I can just, when my truck is on, put my phone down here and it charges it just by touching it. Now, one thing I will point out is that just by laying it here does not allow you to do CarPlay, which you can do here. You actually have to have that actually plugged into the USB right here in order to do the CarPlay. Also, the little middle window in the back of my truck is operated by this little button. Most of the time it's up where the top part of the lights are up here, but this version has it down here. Biggest thing for me to get used to is this little dial. So many of you know if it's an automatic, you have a little thing right here where you can turn it into drive or reverse or whatever. In this, it does have the dial. I'm really liking the dial, but it definitely does take some getting used to. First time I actually got into this, I tried to reach for a handle that wasn't there. So keep an eye out on that if you do get something like this, because it's a learning curve. You're gonna fumble a little bit at start. Another thing is the parking brake. So a lot of people have like that joystick that you pull back and then you have to like release it. Here it actually is this little button. So what you do is when you're wanting to park, you will actually press on the button, and then whenever you're trying to let off the brake, you have to actually press the physical brake and then pull up, and then it releases that brake on there. Other features that I specifically use is this. This button is the auto start. What that means is that if you stop at a stop sign, your car turns off and you have to press the accelerator before it will actually start and move again. So if this is on, which it by default is on, if I go up to a stop sign and can make a complete stop, if I let my foot off the brake, it's not going to move until I hit that accelerator. So I typically leave this off because it's not the standard. I wish it was something to where it was default off and you could turn it on, but it's default on and you have to turn it off. Real simple. You can turn it off with just a click of a button and then it stays off the whole time you're driving. But if you turn off the truck and then you turn it back on, you have to return that off. Only other thing that I can say on this is right above that button, you can see there's like a flag, a snowflake, and a leaf. That is the button for the different styles of driving. So, I may be able to show you this better whenever we turn the truck on to kind of show off some other stuff, but there's different modes you can put your car in. Alright guys, one of the things I was talking with y'all about was the different styles of driving or modes of driving. So if you press that button, you can see it automatically is set to normal, but there's lots of different drive modes that you can get put into. So I haven't used too many of them. Most of the time I am using normal because I'm driving normally. This car does have the 4K towing package, so it does have a tow and haul mode, so that it already gets everything set up in your truck for being ready to tow. The other mode that I've used the most is slippery. We had some rain up here not too long ago that was pretty significant, and if you see down here, it has this little icon showing you that you're in the slippery mode. Basically, this one is the one, aside from normal, that I have the most experience with. it makes it to where your braking and acceleration is kind of slowed. So if you hit the brakes, it will start braking, but it brakes kind of like incrementally. It makes it a slow brake to kind of keep you from hydroplaning and things like that. So I'm not a big fan of it, but if it's really, really raining, I could see a real big pro of it being very safe, because if it's keeping you from accelerating or decelerating super quickly, it can possibly keep you from hydroplaning. So one other thing we're going to talk about is kind of the different things in this area of the console right here, which is all of the heating elements. So obviously, there's the standard stuff as far as like, you know, heating the windshield, max, you know, air towards your face, towards your feet. It has dual temperatures, so if you want 2 different temperatures, you know, this one can be at 77, this one can be at 70. The biggest thing that I have not seen, it has side mirror heaters, so if your side mirror is frosted over, this can heat it. And then also, if you see right here, that's a steering wheel heater. If this little button's on, this little baby's on, and it is nice. Right now it's about 30 degrees where we're at, so I can start my car, and then as I'm letting it warm up, it heats up the steering wheel, which has been fabulous, especially since my hands get pretty cold. So it's awesome, guys.
Alright guys, she talked a minute ago that this does have the option to get the 4K towing package, which gives you your big class 3 hitch right here. Also, what's nice, it has connections for the 7-pin connector, which will be with trailer brakes and everything. And then it also has, you know, the standard 4-plug, or what I used to call the U-Haul plug, and everything like that. So you can tow with this vehicle. Again, it's rated at 4,000 pounds. She does have some interest maybe one of these days, maybe trying to get a small camper or pop-up, something like that, just so that she can go camping with us, because we're big avid campers. If you've watched our YouTube series anytime at all, you know we camp a lot. So she wants to be able to go along with us without having to, but that way she can have her own place. Also, got the backup camera here, which is nice. Does have the locking tailgate, which is something almost all the Fords have now. And you don't think that's a big deal until you get a tailgate stolen. It costs you $1,200 for a tailgate, so it is cool. Now, the cool thing about this truck is, even though it's small, it is mighty. It does have storage compartment here. Notice it does have, well, you probably can't see it from over here, it does have built-in LEDs in the bed, so it does light your bed up at night. Also, it does have a 110 outlet back here, so if you're tailgating, or you know, if you're out working or something like that on the job and need to plug in a tool, you do have that option, or plug up batteries, which is pretty nice. It did come, I think this was an option to get in the spray-in bed liner from the factory like that. But the really cool thing is, it does have the brackets in here, so you can adjust these. So if you need to carry or tie down different things, it does have built-in tie downs here. And of course back here in the back too. And so it has lots of options there. But the thing that really impressed me the most is, you can unlatch this right here, and you can actually carry a full 4x8 sheet of plywood back here. What it'll do, the plywood will sit right in here, and it'll actually cause the tailgate to sit about right here. And then you can actually put a piece of 4x8 sheet of plywood back here, and it'll rest here and keep it level so it don't slide out on you. And so it's actually pretty versatile. Ford has thought of a lot of different really cool things about the bed of this truck, even though it is a small bed compared to obviously a full-size F-150 or even the Ranger. But it's, you know, it's great for her because, you know, she's a first-time homeowner now, and so she, you know, whenever she wants to do flare beds or anything like that, she wants to go pick up a little piece of furniture or something, she has a way to do it. Where before she had that little car that she couldn't do any of that. And so there's some really nice features in this truck.
So, my dad was talking about all the different things that are nifty back here. Another thing I kind of wanted to point out, like he said, this section right here will pop off and you can actually hook it on here. That's how that plywood bed works. There's also this little cubby right here. So, if you open it up, you got a lot of extra space right there. And then this bottom actually comes out as well. You can put things like bungee cables back here if you're moving a lot of stuff to kind of secure it to all the hooks and stuff that are around. Another thing you can do is that there is some bottle openers right here. So if you're camping, you can open up a bottle of Coke if you can find one and enjoy it with the family. Yeah.
So, after driving it for 6 weeks, what do you think of the vehicle?
I would say it's probably one of my favorite vehicles. There are a couple things that you just have to get used to, like the dial versus the shifter, the auto stop start thing, turning that off if you're not a fan of that, which, by the way, yeah, it might save you gas mileage, but we have also heard that that causes the starter to kind of wear out a little bit faster, so pros and cons of both.
Now, I'm old-fashioned, guys, so to me, if your truck's starting and stopping every 5 minutes, especially if you're in city traffic, to me, that's got to be wear and tear on the starter. I could be wrong. I've never owned one of these. I've never owned a new car that does all that starting and stopping and all that, but that's just my gut feeling.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not a fan of it either, because most of the time I'm like, wait a minute, why is my truck not moving? Wait a minute, I haven't touched the accelerator. So it kind of, that's one I don't want to get used to, so I just turn it off. But overall, I would probably give it a 9 out of 10.
Based on, if somebody's looking at this truck that is coming from a small car, because you're just coming from a Ford C-Max.
Yep.
Is it too big? Is it too huge? Is it hard to get used to driving a truck versus a small car?
I think there always is that mental challenge of getting used to it, because I definitely had that. As far as it actually maneuvering any different, no, it really doesn't feel too different at all from my C-Max car.
So just in case you guys don't know, basically this is the 2.0 engine in it, which is the same engine as in the Ford Escape. We've owned a Ford Escape now for about 6-7 years now, and we absolutely love it. It's a Ford Escape Titanium, and basically this is the same drivetrain. It's the same transmission, same motor. You know, obviously they may have had to stretch it a little bit here to get the bed on there, but it's still not a very large vehicle. And if you're used to the Ranger, it used to be the small truck in the Ford lineup. Now the Ford Ranger is more of a mid-size pickup. So now Ford, since Ford doesn't make cars anymore. The only car Ford still makes is the Mustang. Everything else is either a truck or an SUV. So now you have at the smallest size, you have the Ford Maverick, again, which is basically like an Escape with a bed on it, but just a little, maybe just a little bit longer.
A little bit.
But then you go up to the Ford Ranger, which is more of a mid-sized truck now, which used to be their small-sized truck before this came along, back years ago before they reimagined the Ranger. Then, of course, you got your F-150s, 250s, 350s, and on up from there. And so there's basically a truck for every range you need. And like I say, with her, just being a first-time homeowner, this fits her perfect. And, you know, it's not an SUV, but it does have the 4 doors. You can fit 5 people in here. Maybe not my size in the back, but, you know, 5, you know, if you had a smaller person in the middle, 5 comfortably.
Yeah. And
it gives you the bed. So it's a great trade-off between having an SUV versus a car versus a truck. To me, this combines all 3 worlds perfectly, in my opinion. Of course, I'm a die-hard Ford fan. Take it for what it's worth. But like I say, most videos we have seen out there from everybody has been dealerships doing overviews and what they think of the truck. Of course, they're wanting you to place orders. I get that. So we wanted to come across as one of the first people in our town that had one, to be able to give people, you know, somebody that's really driving this truck, that really owns this truck, you know, somebody so that you can check it out and get their real opinion of it.
Yeah. And one other thing I will say, I did have a Ford C-Max hybrid before this car, so there were a couple of things of just getting used to. I don't know necessarily if it's because it's this truck or just me going from a hybrid to a full gas car again, just the how much you have to press on the brakes and the accelerator to get it moving. But honestly, if any of you have driven a C-Max, I always thought that it was a very smooth ride. I think this car does an even smoother ride.
Oh yeah, the way they got the wheelbase on this, and especially, you know, trim levels do have an effect on that. So she does have the Lariat, which is top of the line. But I mean, man, you barely feel a bump when you're driving down the road in this thing.
It's smooth.
It's great acceleration. It's peppy. Just like, that's what we love about our Escape. Our Escape is small, but this one's small also. So it's easy, you know, getting in and out of tight parking places in town, parallel parking, that sort of thing. But with the 2.0 EcoBoost in it, it's still really peppy and really sporty.
For sure.
So we hope you enjoyed the video. Guys, we finally did make it to our 1,000 viewer marks last week. So thank you for anybody that helped us push over that edge there. Let's keep it going. Obviously, we want to build this channel. We're serious about getting back and releasing our videos every week. I know this has been 2 weeks car videos back to back, but Ford Maverick, I couldn't pass it up. I had to do a video of it. You know, I love cars. My dream job, if I could do something with cars 24 hours a day, that's what I'd be doing. So
you could say he's revved up for it.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, appreciate you for tuning in. Check back with us every week. If you hadn't already, subscribe, because you never know what we're going to get into next.